Let me tell you something most people don't say out loud. You will fail. Not once. Not just early on. Over and over again. And that's okay. Because if you're scared of failing, you're probably not building anything bold enough. For example, in 2007, I started a company called EcoWiser. It was smart. It was timely. It was right. We helped businesses save energy by switching to LED when LED was still the weird kid on the lighting shelf. But you know what happened? Nothing. No interest. No traction. No one wanted to hear it. Were we wrong? Maybe. Were we too early? Definitely. Or maybe we just quit too soon. Here's the thing. I've had failures. Multiple. Next to a shelf full of wins. And I'm still here. Because I've learned something. You're not an entrepreneur because of one good idea. You're an entrepreneur when you don't break the moment that good idea fails. If you can't pivot, if you can't evolve, if you can't let go of your moment, you're not a founder. You're a fortune hunter. Success is not built on getting it right. It's built on getting back up. You have to be able to say, okay, that didn't land. What's next? And sometimes what's next is the same idea, just reframed, restructured, retimed. So yes, we talk about purpose. We talk about mission. We talk about building something meaningful. But don't confuse that with thinking you'll get it right the first time. You won't. And that's the point. Because purpose isn't just what keeps you going. It's what brings you back after the world tells you no. Most founders are scared of failing. But I'll tell you what's worse. Failing and making it mean you're done. That's not failing. That's quitting. Real entrepreneurs fail forward. They build again. They reframe. They evolve. So if you've launched something that flopped, good. Now you know what not to do. Now you're building with data, not fantasy. Now you're dangerous. Because the strongest founders, they're not the ones who started perfect. They're the ones who started anyway and never stopped. Let me leave you with this. Success isn't the absence of failure. It's your relationship with it. So if you're building something right now and it's slow or messy or not landing, don't panic. Step back, breathe, and ask yourself, is this the wrong idea? Or is it the wrong time? Or is it just not finished yet? Either way, you're still in the game. And that already makes you a rare breed. Build again, refine your offer, realign with your purpose, get closer to what matters, because you don't become a damn good founder by avoiding failure. You become one by outgrowing it. Let's talk about a different kind of failure. Not the obvious one. Not the one where no one buys. Not the one where you run out of money. I'm talking about the kind of failure you only notice in hindsight. The failure to see. The failure to listen. The failure to let go of being right. Most people think Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, but that's not the truth. The truth? He didn't even believe in phones. He thought they were beneath Apple, unnecessary, distracting. But a few people in his team saw something. They believed in touch, in interface, in the future. Back then, phones had buttons, big ones. Glass screens were science fiction. But this team pushed forward, built in silence, tested, tweaked, believed. And one day, after months of work, they showed Steve the prototype. He was quiet. And if you know anything about Steve, he was never quiet. After a pause, he looked up and said, "Show me that again." The iPhone was born. Sometimes failure isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's silent. It's stubborn. It hides behind certainty. You can fail by chasing the wrong thing, but you can also fail by ignoring the right one. The best founders, they know when to push and when to step aside. They trust their gut, but also their team. They know that vision is powerful, but curiosity keeps you alive. So yes, fail, test, learn, adjust. But don't fail because you are too proud to see it coming, or too slow to shift, or too certain to listen. And if you want to stay in the game, you want to avoid the most common landmines. Let's bring it home with 10 reasons why startups fail, again and again. Not to scare you, to prepare you. So, you've got a vision, a team, an idea that just won't leave you alone. You've launched, you're moving, and still, something's off, something's not landing. Let me walk you through 10 quiet killers. The things that don't scream failure at first, but whisper it until you break. 1. No market need. You fell in love with your idea, but no one else did. You built something clever for a problem that doesn't exist, or not in the way people feel it. And without pain, there's no purchase. 2. Running out of cash. You planned for 6 months. Reality took 8. Revenue didn't show up on time, and investors got cold. Your burn rate ran faster than your belief, and the runway? Gone. 3. Weak team or management. You had a dream team on paper, but no one knew how to lead, or finish, or hold each other accountable when it got hard. Talent is nothing without traction. 4. Poor product. Let's be honest, it didn't work, or it worked technically, but no one cared, and you were too close to see it, too proud to fix it, too late to pivot. 5. Failure to pivot. The signs were there, user feedback, market silence, but you kept going. You had invested too much, and you didn't want to quit, so you stayed on a sinking path. 6. Ignoring the competition. You thought you were first. You weren't. Or you thought you were better. You weren't. You never looked over the fence, and by the time you did, they already had market share. 7. Lack of customer focus. You built what you liked, your features, your taste, but you forgot to ask, what do they actually need? What hurts them? What keeps them up at night? Startups die when they stop listening. 8. Legal trouble. You skipped the boring stuff, didn't read the terms, didn't register the name, didn't protect the IP, and one letter from a lawyer later, you're out. 9. Bad timing. You were early, or late, or irrelevant. Timing isn't everything, but it's damn close. Sometimes the world just isn't ready. Sometimes it already moved on, and sometimes it never cared. 10. Overexpansion. You had a win, and then you tried to multiply it overnight. More people, more offices, more everything. But your foundation wasn't built for the weight. You scaled too fast and collapsed under your own ambition. Now here's the punchline. Most of these don't feel like failure at first. They feel like busy, like progress, like we're almost there. Until you're not. So if you're in it now, pause, look around. Ask the hard questions, the quiet ones, the ones that feel risky to even think, because a damn good startup isn't the one that never falls. It's the one that knows why it fell